going into Estonia, I was very hopeful that I was going to get that time with him. And when it didn't happen, it was confusing.
The biggest Bachelor Nation news of the week, Rachel Lindsay wrote a book. Ari and Lauren talk about sleeping in different bedrooms. Jess opens up about her breakup with Zach. Brandon and Serene post engagement photos. Is Charity the next Bachelorette? We have a lot to break down and get to, so welcome back to our channel. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new here. I'm your host, Zachary Reality with Kayla T. Kayla, how are you doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Zachary Reality. I missed you. I haven't seen you in like a week and some change. So, we love to talk all the tea on Fridays. So I'm super excited to dive in. Like you said, there's so much to talk about. Good stuff, some
Mm.
not so good stuff, but it's going to be fun. Let's get into it.
Yes, we're gonna get all into it. I'm so glad it's Friday. I'm actually going to the Dancing with the Stars live tour tonight with Kayla G, our other
Ooh.
host who's not
Oh
here.
my
Yes.
gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So
So we're gonna have a
fun.
great
I went
time.
last month.
So we'll have to tell
So
you.
good.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I did. I went last
So we'll
month.
have to tell
So
you
good.
about it next week.
Yeah,
But
please do.
we'll be there. We're gonna get to meet Gabby and the dancers, so that's super, super exciting.
Amazing. That is
But let's
exciting.
get
You guys are gonna have
into
so much
Bachelor Nation. Rachel Lindsay has wrote a new book that came out this week. It's called Real Love. So this book is a fiction romance novel that follows the journey of a character, Maya, who decided to not take a chance at real love. Now, Real Love is a reality show based off The Bachelorette, and this is a fiction book where Rachel decides to write about a character that is kind of herself, but it also transpires into other things that basically takes the
Mm,
journey if Rachel decided to not be the Bachelorette and not decide to take that opportunity. So Maya, who is Rachel, but it is
wow.
fiction, just putting that out
Mhm.
there, she decides to not
Uh-huh.
take the journey as being the lead of real love and passes the opportunity to her best friend Delilah. Now, Delilah starts the journey and starts to fall in love. And this is when Maya realizes that her life is not exactly as planned out as she thought it was. She's not as happy as she thought it was in her relationship, in her career, and she starts to regret taking the not taking the opportunity. So, what do you think about the synopsis of this book? Would you be open to reading it?
I mean, after hearing it, yes. I had no idea that that's what the synopsis was, that that was like the plot of the book. I mean, that's insanely fascinating just because obviously Rachel, yeah, she was the bachelorette. And so for her to kind of come up with this fictional other universe type of story is really interesting. I'm like surprised. I mean, most of the times, from people from reality shows, they write tell-alls and that's really it, which Rachel kind of did. But for her to like write a fictional book like this, that's kind of like a romantic, almost sounds like a YA novel, is really, really cool. And so, yeah, I'm like, you know what? I think I might check this one out. So I saw she was on your podcast too, so I'm sure you've heard even more about the book.
Yeah, I had her on my podcast. If you guys want to listen, it's just Zachary Reality. I was so excited that she came on to do it and we did it in person. So we talked all about her book.
Yeah.
She gave me lots of tidbits and teases. She was saying that there was a lot of correlation between her real life and the made up universe, and that she really wants to put
Mhm.
fans to the test to kind of discover the Easter eggs. So she was trying to pull a little bit of a Taylor Swift while writing this
Ah,
book. Can you
that's
believe her?
cool. I love that. I love that. No, that's so cool. I'm curious too, was the love interest Latinx like Brian, or do you know?
No, she didn't write about Brian, like, that wasn't based off, well, she didn't
Okay.
really say that, but it wasn't
Okay,
based
okay,
off
okay, okay.
him, but,
Gotcha.
it's more interesting about this character, Delilah, who is, like, her best friend that takes the opportunity, so it's really about, like, self-discovery in your 20s because I feel like
Oh,
the message
okay.
was what we were talking about on my podcast is, like, the message is that, like, sometimes you
Mm,
feel like you have your whole life figured out, your career, you're settling into a relationship that you might not be
mhm.
happy in, but you're already in it, and what Maya
Yeah.
realizes in the book is that everything she had planned for herself, it's not exactly what she thought it to
Mhm.
be. And that's why Rachel, who always thought
Mhm.
she was going to be an attorney and get married because she grew up in
Yeah.
Texas, she thought she was going to be married early.
Right.
She didn't expect to grow this career in TV hosting and journalism until she went on The Bachelorette, and then all
Yeah.
these opportunities opened for her. So that's kind of the message of the book, is
Right.
to take the opportunity and take the chance and not settle into your life, especially when you are in your 20s
So
and you're still
good.
figuring it out.
No, that you are selling me and Rachel, you guys both. I'm
I
like,
mean,
wow, I feel like I personally am relating to that a lot. It's so true. I feel like I'm in that space myself in my late 20s and I'm doing things that I never thought I would do, like talking to you on this YouTube channel. Like I never thought I'd be doing this. So it's so true. I'm very invested and interested in reading this book. So I genuinely am like, I need to go get it like tonight.
yeah, get it. You can get it on Amazon, Penguin, .com or whatever it's called. You guys know. But she also had a book launch party this week, which I got to
Yeah.
attend, which was so much fun because there was so many exciting
Awesome.
people from Bachelor Nation there. There was Michelle
Yeah.
Young, Natasha was there,
Yeah.
Nick Viall was there with his fiance Natalie. Taylor was there
Mm,
from Big Brother. Christina Schulman was there. Brian
yeah.
was there. There was also some producers
Awesome.
there. So I got the
Ooh.
tea.
I know you got the tea. Hopefully you can spill,
hmm
but, we'll see.
Maybe. I will say that my
Love
favorite
it.
person I met at the party that I didn't already
Mhm.
meet before was Natasha. I love Natasha so
Oh, you never
much.
met
So seeing
Natasha.
her, well, I actually
Wow.
did meet her once, but like a couple years ago. So seeing her
Not
again, I
really,
was just
really
so
meet.
excited.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Natasha's
No, she
awesome.
seems dope. That's awesome. That's
Super,
awesome.
super
That's so
cool. And the party was supposed to end at 7, Kayla, but we were dancing until like probably 8:30. Like the girls just wouldn't stop dancing. And I mean, I had to hang around. So I mean, you can't miss that party when you're
Of
with such
course, you
reality
don't
TV
leave. Yeah, you can't
icons.
miss out.
Mm-mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You did good. I'm
So
proud of you.
definitely, yeah,
That's
definitely
awesome.
was a good time. Everyone go check
Mm,
out my podcast with Rachel if you want to hear more about it, and go order her
mhm.
book. But let's get into more Bachelor Nation news, because Ari and Lauren are talking about how they slept in 2 different rooms when their twins were first born. Now, Ari was on Chris Harrison's podcast this week, and he added that spending time together without the babies was very difficult when they were newborns, and date nights seemed to be the distance past. Ari says, "We didn't make any time for each other. We were sleep deprived. And I think at a point, your temper, your fuse is short, a little bit of bickering, and then the sex life kind of goes out the window there for a while." So when the twins were first born, keep in mind they already had another daughter, Alessi, who was like 2 or 3. They were sleeping in different beds so that they can
Mhm.
take turns taking care of the babies at night while the other one can get a good night's sleep. And then they would vice versa. So it's just like, how do you have so many kids and make it work? Well, they're being honest and open about how they balanced it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine having 3 under 3?
I listen, I mean, I can't personally imagine as the mom, but my brothers are actually triplets. So I grew up with
Oh,
multiples in
wow.
my house when I was younger and my watching my parents have to juggle like, I was 5 at the time, but so I was a little
Mm,
little bit self-sufficient enough to like, do my
mhm.
thing and play. But yeah, like watching them handle 3 babies, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. So I mean, I commend them, and I get it. I think that sometimes I can imagine with marriages and, you're having kids and, seasons of your life change. And so you kind of have to lean into the season a little bit. And if, hey, like right now, we're understanding our tempers, our hormones are raging, we're not getting a lot of sleep. It's just like, we understand this is just a season that we're kind of having to operate like this, but it'll get better. It'll get easier. The kids will get older and, we'll find our way back. So I hope that that's the case for them. But, having a family isn't easy. So, especially with them, they're reality stars. They have a lot to manage with their lives being on display. So, there's a lot going on for them, but I hope that they're doing good, at the very least doing better. So,
Yeah, they seem to be handling it great. They share their family on
mhm.
YouTube. They share them on Instagram. The babies are getting a little older. I think they're like 1 now, so maybe they're able to sleep through the
Okay,
night.
okay.
But having kids is obviously really hard. So it's nice when people open up about
Yeah.
it so that other people can prepare for it.
Mhm.
Because the more you know, the more you can be prepared. You can get a night nurse. You can just
True.
prepare yourself. And
So
I
true.
think that Ari and Lauren are awesome for being so vulnerable. Let's talk about Brandon and Serene for a second. They just shared some engagement photos on Instagram. They look so
Mhm.
gorgeous, so cute. We saw them get engaged on Bachelor in Paradise
So cute.
last summer. They're still together.
Yeah.
The engagement photos just came
Mhm.
out, so who knows when they'll start planning the wedding, but it seems that they are on the right track. And I know that they're one of your favorite couples. So, I mean,
Oh,
what you've been
yeah.
following them. What else do you think they've been up to?
I have been. I've been following them. I know a lot of people kind of were a little concerned because they weren't posting each other like as much as they were maybe at the beginning when they first left Paradise or when the show aired, I guess. Um, but I always just had faith like they're so strong. Like I watched their podcast with the Taylors on the squeeze, Taylor Lautner and his wife. And I mean, just their perspective on relationships, but their relationship and how they operate in their relationship is so mature and very healthy for people, I feel like our age. And so I just think they're just one of the strongest, if not, I don't know, we go out on a limb and say they're the strongest Bachelor Nation couple I've seen in a long time. So yeah, the engagement photos were perfect. They were so like different and chill, but kind of like artsy at the same time. I love Brandon's got this new long hair. It's like it's giving. I love it. I love them. They're just goals. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, and hopefully they continue to share more of their relationship because I know so many fans were invested and love seeing them. So we'll
Mhm.
definitely be following them and checking out for more wedding details. Hopefully, let's get into this season because it's been a season. There has been a lot of girls who have
Yeah.
gone home in very dramatic ways. And one of those girls is Jess.
Mhm.
She expressed how upset she
Mhm.
was that she wasn't able to get a one on one so late into the journey. And she opened up about it on the Clickbait Nation podcast this week, leading up to the Women Tell All, which comes out next week. Now, Jess says it happened very quickly throughout the whole journey. Every conversation we had, he would reassure me and tell me how confident he was with me. We had great conversations. But when you're in that environment where other women are going on dates and Zach comes back stronger in their relationship with them, it's hard and you're just waiting week by week and wanting to feel chosen by a man. Jess went on saying,
Going into Estonia, I was very hopeful that I was going to get that time with him. And when it didn't happen, it was confusing. It was like all there was no actions following the words that he was giving me. And watching that conversation was just as confusing as it was in the moment. But um, I felt very misunderstood and I was frustrated. And, you know, watching like my exit, I wish that I used that verbiage with him. I feel like I could have explained myself better, but I was going to that conversation anxious and confused, and I wasn't able to like articulate myself the best way.
I mean, I think we all kind
Mhm.
of, when we look back at things, especially if you're on TV, there's always hindsight is 2020. The emotions were involved, but it seems like Jess has now been able to process her feelings and she seems to be in a good place, but we'll still see her have that
Yeah.
conversation with Zach at the Women Tell All next week. So, how do we think that's going
Right.
to go?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that it'll go well. I think it will go really well. I don't think that either of them, especially Jess, will have any real sour feelings. I don't know. I can't imagine her coming at him and, even in what she's saying here, it's like she's more introspective about the whole situation, and realizing that it really was just like a misunderstanding, and then there's obviously feelings involved, so she was upset, and I understood. But yeah, I think that they'll probably just air it out. They'll, maybe Zach, I hope Zach will kind of give a little apology because I did feel like he wasn't really opening his eyes enough to see why she was upset. He just was like, I don't get why you're upset. Like, and I don't know. So I hope that they can kind of have a better, more, a calm conversation without the emotions involved because I think that does make it easier to communicate yourself. And with him watching it back as well, I think he'll have a different perspective. So, yeah, it'll be fascinating. I think there's a lot of conversations that are going to have to be had at the Women Tell All. So, I hope I hope they all go well because there's been some
Mhm.
stuff that's been going down this season. between the
Yeah, I
women and
mean, I
Zach.
think we're all
So
excited. We're excited to see the women and see them hash out some of the drama. But as far as Zach, there has been a lot of backlash this season about
yeah.
him not really listening to the girls. You know, anytime there's drama, he sends them home.
Mhm.
Anytime there's a minor inconvenience, he sends them home. And I think the biggest question is, did he just not want to work through the issues because he already knew who he was picking the whole time? Or
Right.
is Zach just so non-tolerant and just doesn't have time for drama? I mean, I kind of see both sides of it. I definitely think that he's not into the
Mhm.
drama, but I also feel like he
Mhm.
was able to detach so quickly and it almost felt like he was leading girls on. But then it's The Bachelor,
Mhm.
and it's just like he has to
Mhm.
date these girls. And I almost feel like he is the
Yeah.
type of guy that just knew the couple girls he liked and just kind of took
Right.
advantage of the girls who were upset and used that as an opportunity to send them home instead of trying to work out anything.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that
Mhm.
will go into the real world.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think it's a mix of a lot of things. I think it's Zach, there's a lot of women. And so Zach, there's no way Zach is that feeling that strongly about everybody. I mean, I think his final four are who he probably has always felt, maybe with Ariel kind of coming in to last minute, like felt really strongly about. So I think with certain girls, it's like it's easy to detach because also you just met these people. Yes, it's like a intense environment, but I don't know. I can kind of see how Zach can kind of be like, okay, never mind. This is not working. So let's just go our separate ways. And I think Zach also has this mentality of his parents never fighting. And so if there's an issue, then it's not going to work. And so there's some of that in there. But it's been interesting, like even going back to the Jess thing, I think sometimes it's just the structure of the show because I'm sure you've heard Zach, like the lead has say in who gets the one-on-one, but also it is the producers too who are like, "Okay, well, these are who you like, cool. Well, they're not getting that date this week. If they're gonna get the date next week or whatever." And so even with COVID happening, like Charity had didn't get her date, but then she got the one the next week. So maybe if she had gotten that date on the COVID week when COVID, if he didn't have COVID, then maybe Jess would have gotten the one-on-one. Then you see where I'm going? Like, I don't know. It's like it's a mix of things. It's kind of all messy. I don't like how people are so dumping on Zach about it. I think anyone in his position could potentially have kind of get caught in these kind of webs. But I think we'll see him really have like remorse for the way that he came across, and a lot of stuff gets cut out of the edit too. So there's just a lot going on. But I think he's a sweet guy. He's a kind guy. He's not ill intended at all. So I think it'll be smooth, him just kind of ironing everything out and clearing the air. I said a lot of
We'll see
things
what
just now.
happens. I'm glad that you have some high hopes for him and some optimism.
I do.
Um,
I do.
I'm always open. I always remain open, but I don't know. I just don't really feel like we've
Not really
gotten a lot
feeling
of
it.
depth. No, not even in his
I feel
interviews. I
that.
just feel like
I
they could
feel
have picked
that.
anyone else. But hey, we
Mm,
have a new season coming. The Bachelorette starts filming next week. I can confirm that is a
wow.
fact. Pretty sure it's
Wow.
going to be Charity. That's definitely the word on the streets. I'm here for Charity.
Yeah.
I like her. I don't really know if
Mhm.
she has like the biggest personality. I don't know how many fans,
Mm,
were invested in this season to even want to be invested in the next season, which is why my original thought was to bring back
sure.
somebody from a couple years ago. So I definitely think there is a lot of
Mhm.
reservations with Charity being the next lead. I mean, I think she's great. I think she's likable. I think she's beautiful. I think she's classy and mature. I think she would do
Mhm.
good, but I also just don't know how much we know about her, and I'm sure we'll see her in the next couple weeks as hometowns are coming
Yeah.
up, and then maybe she'll make it to Fantasy Suites. So
Mm.
I don't know, but it's definitely
Yeah.
gonna get leaked next week if she starts filming, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
will happen.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah. I
everyone's gonna be
mean
like, "Oh, no, no, no." There'll be a picture, there'll be a video. We'll be finding
right.
out in days.
Exactly.
So what are your thoughts?
Can't wait. I think, the fact that the word on the street is charity, everyone's kind of in agreement that yeah, it's pretty sure it's charity. And they're filming next week. It's probably charity. So I'm also excited. I think out of the 4 that we have, any of them could have been the Bachelorette. I could have seen, definitely Charity, Gabby, or Katie. I think from the beginning, they've been front runners, so we've been kinda, like, aware of them from jump. But I do think that, Charity's storyline of her heartbreak and her, like, not trusting herself and her kinda, like, really struggling with her healing has been shown in the last maybe 2 weeks. And so we've kinda, like, got this picture of what her season of The Bachelorette could be in terms of really feeling for her and watching her grow within herself. And also I think the breakup with Zach, because obviously if she's a bachelorette, it ain't gonna work. So the breakup with Zach, I think, is gonna be really, really hard with hometowns. I think it's gonna get even harder. Families are involved. She's gonna be heartbroken. And so I don't think we've had a bachelorette in a minute that we can say, oh my God, the main thing we're seeing is like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I just wanna see her find love. I think everyone's been like, they have a great personality. They just be a great lead. But with her, it's like, we might really follow a journey of like, I just wanna see this girl find somebody and like watch her heal. So
Mhm.
I think she could be a cool bachelorette. So kind of a little bit different angle of a lead for the Bachelorette, but I think she'll handle it well as well. And so we'll have to see. We'll have to see first if it's legit. So we'll find out, as you said, in a few days.
Yeah, any day now, we'll definitely get some
Any day.
confirmation that is like online, like hard proof. You could hear people say it,
Yeah,
you can hear people confirm it, but we need like hard proof in like an article from a reputable outlet
something.
or a picture or a video. So any day now, we'll be finding out. And I could definitely get behind Charity. I do like her. So let us know your
Sure.
thoughts in the comments down below on all things Bachelor Nation, everything we discussed this week. What are your predictions for the Women Tell All? We definitely want to hear your thoughts. So do not forget to comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you're always updated on all things Bachelor Nation. I am your host, Zachary Reality. You guys can follow me on my social on the screen right now. Come over and say hi, along with my co host, Duh.
Kayla Thompson. I'm Kayla Thompson. You can follow me as well on Instagram and TikTok. My social handle should be on the screen as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as Zach said before you go. And we'll see you guys very soon.